Hey, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing Super Mario Galaxy on the Nintendo Wii. I know a lot of my viewers aren't necessarily into platformers, especially when they're cartoony mascot-like platformers, but this is actually my favorite game on the Nintendo Wii. I actually recently picked up Mario Galaxy 2, so maybe I'll change my mind. For whatever reason, even though this is my favorite game, I never picked up the sequel until now. But I wanted to make sure I picked it up before you have to go to a specialty store to get Wii games, and it was nice that I could still be able to get a used version, so I'm pretty happy about that. And it was super cheap because now that they're starting to quit making the Wii U, I mean, the original Wii is even more obsolete because the Nintendo Switch is coming out, I guess, this spring, unless they delay it or something. I don't know. But anyway, was never really a huge fan of the Wii system just because I wasn't a fan of motion controls, and I remember not being a huge fan of the system until I started playing some of these platformer games that use very little motion controls. I never actually have been a huge fan of the 3D Mario games. I mean, I enjoyed them. Like, I liked Super Mario Sunshine. Super Mario 64 was cool because it was like a new type of game, but it never really won me over. When I think back fondly of early 3D games, Super Mario 64 is not on the top of my list. But this one, I played, absolutely fell in love with it, and I don't know. I've always really the 8-bit Mario's now are some of my favorite games. So I was quite shocked when I played this. Not only was it on the Wii, and there's some motion controls involved, like that little star you see moving around. You actually have to aim to collect those little star particles and stuff like that. But for the most part, you use an analog stick to control Mario. This is also a really nice looking game. I mean, if you squint your eyes, it almost looks like a Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 3 stylized games. I mean, it doesn't have like super realistic detailed textures, but it looks really nice. And I haven't played much of the Wii U, but based on screenshots I've seen of the Wii U, like of Super Mario World 3D or Super Mario 3D World, sorry if I said that wrong the first time, like, it wouldn't look out of place on there. This is a really nice looking game. Probably one of the best looking games on the system. Now, the Wii had a lot of good games, but the problem with the Wii, in my opinion, is that you had to go through so much shovelware because a lot of older people and little kids would pick up and play the Wii and stuff like that. But they had some really good games. Obviously, the Zelda games were great. If you liked Zelda. And then Mario, of course. And one of my favorite features beside the virtual console, but honestly, if you have a computer, you can do it better. But it's always nice to play Nintendo games on a Nintendo system. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But it's psychological, I guess. But usually it would look better if you like emulated it or whatever. But yeah, the virtual console was cool. Sorry, I'm saying, but it's been a long day and I'm trying to buy myself time. I always pick doing these videos on a long day, but I guess the days that I don't pick to do the videos are even longer. So I guess this is the best you're gonna get. Hopefully with time they'll get better, even though I've been doing this for a long time. But anyway, my favorite feature of the original Wii, because they came out with like a second model and it didn't connect online, so you couldn't access the virtual console. One of my favorite features of the Wii, and it wasn't backwards compatible with the Nintendo GameCube, which really sucks. The Nintendo GameCube is another underrated Nintendo system that a lot of people missed out on. They have a few great games on there. Super Mario Sunshine, The Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, and then they had Twilight Princess, which I like better on the GameCube because you don't have to use motion controls. Like most of the games on the Wii that I really do like tend not to use the motion controls. I rely on them heavily, like this game. Like I don't want to sit in front of a TV and use motion controls for hours and hours. I mean, it's okay once in a while, but but it's had its fair share of decent games. There is Smash Brothers. I'm trying to think. I think Brawl was the one on Wii. Which one was on Wii, in my opinion, that I played. I didn't play the 3DS one, I played the demo of it, but I only had like a couple of people. And then the one on the Wii U, which I never adopted the Wii U because there's only like about 7 games I want to play. Bayonetta 2, I guess the Xenoblade game, the remastered version of Zelda, the Wind Waker, and then if they don't cancel it, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did for the Nintendo Switch, the new Zelda game that's coming out. What's it? The Brave Wild or something. I don't remember what it's called. It looks cool. It looks like a open world Zelda game. Although I always felt like all the Zeldas were kind of open world because you had a huge world map. But I don't know. Maybe it's because it has more verticality. It looks more open than the other ones. I don't know. And then Wind Waker, you were sailing across everywhere. But most of my Nintendo experiences that I've really enjoyed have come from handhelds. But yeah, they had that game. Super Mario 3D World, I'd really like to play. Bayonetta 2, I'd really like to play. And I think they came out with a Paper Mario game or something. There's not a whole lot of games. I can't really. And Star Fox looks kind of cool. I just thought about it. They just trickle in, but I probably can't count more than 10 games I want for a system. The system's still selling for $300. It's backwards compatible with Wii games, which is kind of cool. But then you don't get the GameCube backwards compatibility. So too bad it doesn't do all 3 systems. That'd be great. But anyway, the reason why I'm trying to stress that I've never been a huge fan of the 3D Mario games is because I really like this one. And if you're really not into Mario games, I think, well, at least if you're not into the 3D ones, because I think the 2D and 3D Mario games are completely different experiences. With the 3D Mario games, except Mario Galaxy 2 looks like it's exactly the same, as well as Super Mario 3D World looks like it's a lot like a bigger version of Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, which is an amazing game. That's probably equal on my favorite 3D Mario games. That's probably... No, I'd say Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy, Curtain Call are the original. As stupid as that and simple as that game is, you just tap the music. That's like my favorite game to play on the 3DS. But I think Super Mario 3D Land is probably my second favorite, and then Mario Kart. Because I think a portable Mario Kart is like the best thing ever. That's like a great thing to have that's portable. I tend to like those games on the go versus sitting at home and like playing a little karting game, but that's just me. So you play Mario and you go to all these little galaxies with these little planets and stuff like that, and you go in the ins and outs. Some planets are larger than others, so don't get discouraged by this early footage because this is trying to give you basically a brief tutorial about how to play the game and stuff like that. But the planets are bigger where there's actually worlds and stuff. Because I remember seeing screenshots and I was like, this is kind of lame. You just walk around on these little spheres all the time. But the levels get bigger and you get to go on airships, like 3D versions of the airships like you did in Super Mario Brothers 3. Which is... I have trouble deciding like... between Castlevania 3 or Super Mario Brothers 3, ironically the third in both series. I have trouble deciding whether that's my all-time favorite NES game or not, but I mean it's probably a tie. So when it captures anything from one of my favorite games of a console, like you're really hitting gold there as far as I'm concerned. and I just like even though it's really cutesy and stuff, I like the childlike nature of this game, or even though there's storylines, there's a little bit of storyline to it. It's kind of surreal and just really creative, and it just has this sense of wonder, and I like the character designs and the platforming and stuff like that. And everything looks really sharp and clear for a Wii game. I don't know how well it's going to look on YouTube once it renders and everything like that, but I think this is an absolutely fantastic game. I figured I'd show this game. First of all, I haven't played it in a long time, and I wanted to revisit it. I finally found like a corded Wii sensor bar, because I had one that was running on batteries, because the original one accidentally got vacuumed over. Like the wire was like super thin. It's almost like the width of maybe if you braided like 3 strands of like thread that you would sew with. Like, it's super thin. It probably is the width of, like, if you're not familiar with it, maybe half of that a wire on like a earbud headphone set, if that makes sense. It's super thin. Anyway, the vacuum destroyed it, and then I had a battery one, but like within 4 hours you'd have to replace like 4 batteries on it. It's like, screw this. So the Wii U actually uses the same connection as the original Wii, so I was able to get one from the Wii U for the original Wii, and it works great, and it's wired, and I don't have to worry about batteries, so it encouraged me to go back and play it. You probably could order one from Amazon, but actually finding a wired one here was actually, at least for the original Wii, was actually quite difficult until I guess people were starting to trade in their Wii U's or whatever. Most of the ones were battery powered, which I guess was more convenient, but really it's only convenient if you don't have to replace the batteries every 4 hours. You like spend a small fortune on the batteries. I don't mind putting batteries in the controllers and stuff like that, because they last fairly long, and I kind of like the idea of being able to replace the batteries instead of having to rely on a rechargeable battery, because eventually the rechargeable batteries go bad. Like the built-in ones, like in the PlayStation 3. I think the Xbox One uses regular batteries. I'm not sure, but the PlayStation 3 and 4 I know uses rechargeable batteries, and they eventually go bad, and then you got to go to a specialty battery distributor and open up the controller and replace it, and sometimes it's just better off buying a new controller versus just. Sometimes you can go to like cheaper stores, because you don't really need to spend like a small fortune on like super advanced batteries that are made for like really sorry, I can't think today. Really demanding items that use like a lot of battery power and stuff like that. You can just get crappy cheap ones, and you can probably get a box of like 20 batteries for like $5 from, I don't know where you guys live, like Big Lots, which is like a cheap store, like has stuff. A lot of times when businesses close, they like sell all their back stock and stuff like that, and Big Lots will acquire it. Although since Big Lots has gotten popular, they've gotten more expensive with the stuff, so it's harder to find deals, but their batteries are usually fairly cheap unless you buy Energizer, but usually you can get like a shitload array of that battery. So I got like a plastic case, so every time like the Wii remote dies or something, or one of my TV remotes, just open up the plastic little treasure chest and replace the batteries. Man, I'm having interesting commentary how I'm replacing batteries. I guess it beats the last issue that was sort of a serious issue. The timing was a little bit off because I've been tired from working, and I wanted to make that video a lot sooner, but really didn't feel up to it because it was somewhat a serious video, and I wanted to be clear-headed even though I ramble and it's all over the place. I appreciate the comments that were put up on there, so it means maybe I made some sense because obviously people replied to it, so it must have made a little bit of sense. So I was able to get really awesome feedback, so thank you for giving me feedback on that. I think what really was the last straw was like the weekend before I got like the nastiest freaking comment. I deleted it, so don't try to look back at it, but yeah, it was just really shitty, and then it wasn't that nasty or whatever, but it was just uncalled for and shitty, and that was kind of crappy. And then I saw several videos talking about negativity, and a lot of them stemmed from just people being tired of negativity, and the ones that I saw the most was about The Last of Us 2, which either the people did have a problem with playing as Ellie as a female character or didn't, and these people were kind of attacking each other. And something that really surprised me is I saw one of my friends, which is a popular reviewer or whatever, and before he reviewed a game, he was like, which I never saw before, he was like, you know what, if I absolutely hate this game and you're really excited about it, play it anyway, because you know what, you might like it and I might not like it, and you might be robbing yourself from enjoyment. And I was like, that's pretty awesome. So he kind of negated his own review just to stop some of the negativity out there, because he was even aware of it. And I guess as a reviewer, sometimes maybe you feel a little bit responsible sometimes for people's opinions. I don't know if he did or not, but I thought that was pretty incredible of that person to say that, to say, you know what, if I don't like this game or whatever and you were looking forward to it, play it anyway. There's too much negativity, and we're all gamers, we're basically on the same team. And for somebody who gets paid to review games and stuff like that, that was pretty big and awesome, and I have lots of respect for that person. I'm not naming names because, first of all, I don't know what kind of negative backlash I would have gotten for the video. Luckily, I didn't get any. But you know, I'm just a small, meaningless channel that's quite forgetful, and I know a lot of people's channels are a lot bigger than mine. They get a lot more traffic coming in, and what people do watch mine, most of the people that reply to my videos are super cool, so the odds of somebody really actually saying something negative is quite rare. I just happened to experience that moment. But if I drew any negativity, I just didn't want to name names and start throwing those people to those channels, even though it's probably negligible. But I still didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be like, well, so and so said this and so said that, because you know, even if it's one or two people, if somebody was pissed off by the comments I made or whatever, I didn't want to send people that way. But yeah, it was just a combination of a lot of things, and I just felt like it needed to be said. So with this video, I just wanted to play a game that like I really enjoyed and want to play. I'm sorry, I freaking can't talk today. Today's a long day. I actually had blood work and stuff done. I don't know, I haven't felt good since they've done it, but I really wanted to make a video while I had the time. Like, today's my day off, so my last day off actually, so I wanted to make sure I had one more video. I'm trying to put out videos before Christmas. I didn't even know if the last video would be my last video, but if I have time, I would like to put out more. But if you're not into mascot games and you happen to have a Wii or whatever, I highly recommend this game. And even if you're a grown adult like I am, I think there's a lot to be enjoyed. I usually don't see a cutesy platformer over something more mature and pick the cutesy platformer, but I gave this a chance and absolutely fell in love with it. There's just a sense of wonder, and it's just so well designed, and the levels do get bigger, so don't let the little spheres discourage you. You do get to visit huge planets and worlds and stuff like that, and it's pretty awesome. And I heard Super Mario Galaxy 2 is more of the same, so after I start playing this again, I can't wait to go back to that after I play all the other games I haven't covered yet or haven't finished. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope that this holiday season is going great for you. If you don't celebrate, I hope you're having a good time and nobody kills each other, blah, blah, blah. Wait till next year and then it'll be all right. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you're all doing well. Take care. Bye.